What's up, Radical Cars fam? Some big news this week. I did add a new toy to the garage. Spoiler alert, it's a Raptor, but first, some formalities. If you like Mustangs, motorcycles, and man stuff, hit that subscribe, like, comment, share, ring the bell, and shop my Amazon storefront to line my pockets with fat loot. Remember, I identify as your favorite YouTuber and you will not want to be canceled. The first wide-body 2024 Ford Mustang Dark Horse already exists, in the digital world at least. Sharing thoughts on an article from carscoops.com, go check them out. The latest generation Ford Mustang turned quite a lot of heads at its September debut, in particular the potent Dark Horse variant designed as the most track-focused 5.0-liter V8 Mustang model ever. Abimelech Design has rendered the Mustang with a host of visual alterations. In creating the ultimate 7th generation Mustang, the talented designer started with the Dark Horse variant and equipped it with a wide-body kit that adds flared front and rear wheel arches. The front fascia was tweaked with some additional matte black accents under the aggressive grille. Abimelech Design also crafted a prominent splitter for the car, continuing along the sides where you will see the matte bronze 5-spoke deep dish wheels and a pair of more prominent side skirts. Rounding out the modifications is the removal of the Dark Horse's standard rear wing, to which I take offense by the way, and the fitment of a prominent ducktail lip spoiler. The panel between the taillights has also been blacked out. Love that license plate 5.0 by the way. Share your comments below. Would you buy this Dark Horse? I think it looks cool, although I'm not into body kits. I think the cars are aerodynamic enough stock, but if you are tracking a car, anything goes to shave off those tenths of a second. In other news, apparently the Ford Mustang GT is no longer the most American-made car. Commenting on an article from Jalopnik, Honda is actually more American than the Jeep Wrangler, sadly. Every year, American University's Kogod School of Business releases a list of vehicles built with the largest percentage of American-sourced parts. Last year, the manual Ford Mustang GT took the top spot with a total score of 88.5. But this year, it's plummeted. It's no longer even in the top 20. Why? Ford now uses a Mexican-sourced manual transmission. That change drops the manual GT down to number 22 on the list. A lot of the cars have ties, and if you're ignoring those ties, the Mustang actually turns into number 71. If you want a more American-made Mustang though, get the 4-cylinder or automatic GT. They're both tied at 11 or at the 26th and 27th spots. Excuse me, that's what I think of this. Foreign automakers also made the list, with Honda arguably doing the best, with 4 of their cars listed in the top 10. Ford did make some of the top 10 as you can see here, followed by Tesla with their Model 3 long range, GM, and some others. Globalization has been a thing for a minute, fellas, but it's sad to see the Mustang plummet and be less all-American. In a quick fun story, or terrifying story depending on your outlook, the New York Post reports $3,300 self-driving strollers set to be the next rich parent must-have. Look, I'm all for technology and convenience, but I'm not putting my kid into the hands of a robotic roller of doom. Skynet, anyone? Commenter Alpaca of Death, nice screen name by the way, comments thusly: one thing that people fail to grasp about technology, just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. Well said, Alpaca of Death, well said. Moving on, Ford has reinvented the wheel, the steering wheel at least. Fox News says the new design turns the wheel into a table, and I'm interested in this. Ford is turning the tables on car designs, so to speak. Nice one, Fox. The automaker has revealed a new electric minivan for Europe called the E-Torneo Custom, which has a unique feature that has nothing to do with battery power. The E-Torneo is equipped with a steering wheel that can be converted into a table for the driver to use when parked. The rim of the wheel can be tilted independently of the hub, as you can see here, allowing it to lie flat, and a tab at the bottom of the squircle, that's right, squircle, nice. The rim then flips out to secure a tray that sits on top. It can be set at various angles to be used for anything from laptops to food. The feature is also available on the larger European spec Transit van, the E-Torneo, which is not currently slated for US sale, unfortunately. By the way, why does Europe get all the cool stuff? Has an estimated driving range of 230 miles per charge and a fully configurable interior. Guys, I would buy this car just for the table alone. Alright, this week's Snowflake of the Week is coming to us from Canada, where a study claimed people who skipped their COVID vaccines were 72% more likely to be involved in a severe traffic crash. You can't make this stuff up, people. According to Yahoo Finance, during the summer of 2021, Canadian researchers, before going into cryogenic stasis for the winter, okay, I added that part, examined the encrypted government-held records of more than 11 million adults, 16% of whom hadn't received the COVID vaccine. They found that the unvaccinated people were 72% more likely to be involved in a severe traffic crash in which at least one person was transported to the hospital than those who were vaccinated. The excess risk of car crash proposed by the unvaccinated drivers, quote, exceeds the safety gains from modern automobile engineering advances and also imposes risks on the other road users, the authors wrote. Of course, skipping a COVID vaccine does not mean that someone will get into a car crash. crash, only 72% of the time. Instead, the authors theorize that people who resist public health recommendations might also, quote, neglect basic road safety guidelines, unquote. See the attempt to control us here? It seems like our friends up north in the frozen tundra, and we do have a lot of subscribers from Canada here, are getting squeezed tighter and tighter by their governments. Not that we have it any better here. Actually, do you guys in Canada have any room left for me? Anyway, continuing on. Continuing to be scarier and scarier, the authors said, why would they ignore the rules of the road? Distrust of the government, a belief in freedom, misconceptions of daily risks, faith in natural protection, antipathy toward regulation, poverty, misinformation, a lack of resources, and personal beliefs are potential reasons proposed by the authors. Get this, the findings are significant enough that primary care doctors should consider counseling unvaccinated patients on traffic safety, and insurance companies, and get this even more, insurance companies might base changes to insurance policies on vaccination data, the authors suggest. Wow. Tightening the grip here, aren't we lefties? Anyway, Ford is now the #2 seller of EVs in the US behind Tesla. It's like the freaking apocalypse here, my dudes. Look, we have a Mach-E here at Rated R Cars, and it's a great car, but there are nowhere near enough charging stations for a long road trip in this thing. It's great to charge overnight and drive anywhere within a 2-hour round trip, but beyond that, no. EVs are just errand runners, IMHO. That's how cool people say, in my humble opinion. In a feel-good story, Fox News reports Russian outrage grows after a Ukrainian strike kills dozens of Russian troops in Ukraine. Russians, would you please withdraw your troops from Ukraine's country? If not, your soldiers may get some boo-boos. War never changes. Drop a comment below if you know where that last quote is from. Great news for Mach-E owners here. Ars Technica reports Ford updates Mach-E's software, adding new functions to the infotainment system's volume knob. This is much needed in my opinion because some people prefer the knob over the touchscreen for certain things. Case in point, when it's freezing outside, I really don't want to wait for the whole system to boot up before I can turn on seat heaters or the heated steering wheel. It may just take a few seconds, but those seconds are agonizing here in the Northeast. I will say you can turn on your Mach-E comfort settings and have a nice warm tushy when you get in your car, so it's not a huge gripe. But fiddling around with things like temperature control while you're driving seems much safer on the knob, as it's based on tactical feedback instead of visual, the latter requiring your eyes to be off the road longer. The article says this week Ford pushed out a new over-the-air software update to its Mustang Mach-E electric crossovers. The new software Power Up version 4.1.2 adds a bunch of improvements to Ford's Sync 4A system, including a new UI, more full-screen Apple CarPlay, and a couple of new games. But perhaps the most notable improvement is the addition of physical controls for the climate control and heated seats. If a driver taps one of the icons to select the temperature, fan speed, or heated seats, the knob switches over from controlling volume to controlling the temperature or fan speed, depending on which one you have selected. Good job, Ford. Alright boys, let's take delivery of my new Raptor. Boys, I have always wanted a Ford F-150 Raptor, and it gives me great pleasure to introduce the newest member of the family. Here we go. What? A raptor's a raptor. What? Alright guys, if you like this video, please hit the thumbs up, drop a comment below, and until next time, always remember the motto, always be kinder than necessary, and I will see you in the next one.